Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Lash Tribe Show. In this episode, I am talking to the fabulous Linh Podetti from Outsourcing Angel. We have known each other for quite a few years now, met through a mastermind that we were both in, and Linh and another member of the mastermind actually got together to create an agency that now helps business owners across the globe to find perfect virtual assistants for them, for their social media, for their emails, for client relations, anything like that. And I myself have hired quite a few VAs through the agency, and I'm just so excited to share with you today some tips of when is the time to outsource and find someone to help you with your business. What are some issues you might run into? How can you train your VA efficiently to work in your business and for you, and what kind of relationship can you build with your virtual assistant as well? Having a VA has been a game changer for me because she really takes away anything that I thought I could do myself, but was too busy to do. And she also has a completely different outlook to everyday tasks because I'm all over the place and shiny object syndrome, like you'll see in the podcast. And my VA is extremely targeted and systemized and strategizes everything. And in this episode, we are talking about just that. So stay tuned.
But when it comes to the digital world outsourcing, it really can be, you can outsource anything that can be done virtually. But in my world, what I help with people with is marketing. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it should be fine. But what happens when you add up all those 5 minutes is that it adds up to hours and days of your year. And that's why people can't grow. When you have a business that you keep on doing the things you can do, it just robs you the opportunity to do the things that you should be doing, that it's going to grow your business.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Lash Tribe Show. I'm here with Linh from Outsourcing Angel. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's actually a public holiday tomorrow. I'm glad that you're working like me.
I'm also working a little bit tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, same. We're just passionate women that can't stop working, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. So we've known each other for a while. Obviously, I've already introduced you, but for those of our listeners or viewers that have no idea what you are doing, just tell us a little bit about your story, how you got started with Outsourcing Angel, and what are you really passionate about?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Linh Podetti. I'm Italian. No, I'm joking. I'm Vietnamese, but I'm married to an Italian. I'm a mumpreneur. So it's good that 10 years ago I decided to just take that leap, quit the corporate job, because I did have a son. I mean, I still have that son. I was a single mum back then, and it really made me go, what's important in my life. I really needed that flexibility, and so I quit my job back then, started an e-commerce business, but had no idea. It was kind of like I just took whatever that came to me because I really hated, working 9 to 5. And so I started my first e-commerce business and learned all these things about marketing. And once I got my website up, I'm like, how come no one's coming to my website? And it was kind of like step-by-step discovery of what this digital space were. But with limited funds, luckily I came across outsourcing and, using people from overseas. Because at first I was using people from Australia, but I didn't know what I was doing and I still wasted a lot of money. And so I stumbled across outsourcing and, I still made mistakes like everyone else, but it became my passion. I really love being able to create jobs for people in developing country, getting things done at a fraction of the cost. And I then turned it into a business and I started to have an agency, then now turned it into a recruitment agency, just purely helping business owners to how to delegate, outsource and, earn that freedom for themselves.
Yeah, I love that. Now, for those that are completely new to business, they're just starting out, they're starting to get a bit busier, they may not have any idea of what outsourcing actually means. Do you want to explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So when you think of outsourcing, sometimes you think of Indian call centers and, it's kind of like we don't know what we don't know. And we just generalize one term as outsourcing some big corporations, outsourcing big call centers out there. But when it comes to the digital world outsourcing, it really you can outsource anything that can be done virtually. But in my world, what I help with people with is marketing. So when it comes to your social media, maybe you're good at content writing, but you don't want to be bogged down in doing the scheduling and you know, curating posts that someone at a cheaper rate can do for you. And you know, sometimes people think of outsourcing as this kind of negative connotation, like we're ripping people off from overseas, but no, we're actually creating jobs for people living in developing countries, and they get to earn a good living working from home, while we also get to leverage off the labor costs that's overseas. And so when it comes to outsourcing, it's, you know, it's also, for me, it's like delegating. What can you delegate out of your tasks that you do every day in business and get someone else that could do it better and at a cheaper rate?
Yeah, that's awesome. And when do you recommend people actually start to think about outsourcing? You know, let's assume I'm a business owner. I start to get busy. My clients are constantly in contact with me, and I feel like I'm just a little bit under the water. You know, I'm struggling to have the time to actually reply to people. My social media is kind of left to its own devices. I'm not regularly posting, but I'm very, very pedantic about the things I want to do. Is it still time for me to outsource?
Yes. So when it comes to outsourcing, we're already all outsourced, but it's just sometimes we don't realize what else can we outsource. So when we don't have the skill set, like accounting, let's say, we'll first of all straight away get an accountant to set up our company and to do our GST. And then, or if we don't know we don't have time for cleaning, we know we'd hire a cleaner, let's say. But then it's the everyday thing that you can do that people think that just because you can do it, they kind of lose opportunity, because they're like, well, I can just easily like upload my own post, or I can just easily respond to clients. So what is that going to take? You know, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it should be fine. But what happens when you add up all those 5 minutes is that it adds up to hours and days of your year. And that's why people can't grow. When you have a business that you keep on doing the things you can do, it just robs you the opportunity to do the things that you should be doing, that it's going to grow your business. So my challenge is to outsource from day one. It's kind of like, how do you look into your business model and go, and you have to be brave here. You got to go, okay, I really can only do, because the thing is, if you have more time doing the high impact work like sales and getting out there networking, you're definitely going to be able to bring more sales. Now, the other part of, you know, maybe producing whatever you're doing internally, you can get that outsourced. But if you just get caught up with but I'm scared that I won't make enough and I'm going to do it myself, then you're always stuck in that little, that race. It's like, you never feel like you're getting out of it. For me, from day one, luckily I didn't have the skill set in a lot of things. I actually was just good at networking, talking to people. So from day one, I already had a team. I had to hire people, graphic designers, or even an admin assistant, because I just was not really good with detail. But when you're starting out, you can outsource on project base, or, you know, casually. You don't have to be outsourcing a full-time person, but you should always audit and scale your outsourcing, right? Don't just stick with, okay, I've outsourced one, now I'm fine now. No, it's like, what else can you do every month, always auditing it to make sure that you're spending your time on high value work.
Looking at your guys' clients, what are some things that people really start with outsourcing if you've never done anything like it before?
Yeah. So, when it comes to marketing, and social media is such a big world out there. There's so many channels, there's so many things you need to do within social media. So a lot of our clients do come for social media. And, you know, when you're new, you would want to break it up into smaller parts, because you want to kind of get the feel. Outsourcing is like you still have to build that muscle. It's being able to delegate, because like you said in the previous question, it's that control thing. Like, how do I know that person's going to do it and I do it better? They're all limiting beliefs that's going to keep you down. So if your result that you want is that a business that is going to free you up and that it doesn't rely on you, then you're going to have to learn to build this muscle. You know, it's like going to the gym. It's like the outsourcing workout here. And so you start to outsource some parts of it. So let's just say, as part of your social media, you normally do everything. You might just do the content bit, get them to learn to schedule or publish it. And you start to just upgrade them into doing more and more tasks for you. And like, for example, my assistant, Wendy, who's been with me for 8 years or something, she started off as a content writer, but then she was really good. So I said, can you please manage the groups of content writers for me? And then as she became good, I basically keep on moving up in my rank, like as in like, okay, I've been doing this now. How do I offload this? So she starts to offload whatever I was doing. And so she's done things from recruitment managing to accounts now. So now she's actually the most trusted person in my company, knowing all my credit card details and everything. But that takes time of training and time of trust. but outsourcing really can help you to build a team that is so solid that just like on someone local, because people think, oh, how do I trust them? They're so remote. But how can you trust anyone, even if they're locally? So it really takes that time investment and training that you can achieve that result.
Yeah, totally. And, social media is such a big thing. And if people are busy working or they're seeing clients, then you can have someone else actually doing the organic posts at that time. I mean, you can schedule things as well, which is no problem. I always say to our students or clients, well, you can sit down for 3 or 4 hours on the Sunday afternoon when you'd rather be with your family.
Yes.
Schedule out all your posts, or you can train someone. Training someone also, it really depends on how well you work by yourself, and then opening up that space to actually have someone coming in and trusting them and showing them all the ropes. But it also depends on the company that you work with. Like, you guys are amazing at really introducing the new VA and finding someone that is really kind of suitable to that personality, and also what kind of things need to be outsourced. What is like your what do you call it, your process of getting two people together initially? What are some things that people look for in a, let's say, social media VA?
Yeah.
What's the process of all of
Yeah, just like hiring someone local, we want to make sure that this person you will suit, as in, their characteristic, their personality. It's not just the skill set, but the beauty of working with us is you just focus on your business. You tell us, exactly what you want in terms of skill set. Okay, I want this person already experienced with Instagram or LinkedIn and maybe know certain software. So we do that job for you of trying to just find you those people with the right skill. But when it comes to matching the personality, of course, it's like, to me, I always think it's like dating. Whenever we see a client in love with their VA, it feels like as if they found love, And so when you're looking for a VA, in terms of our process, we actually filter it. So you only have to pick out 2 or 3 out of, a lot of candidates. But if you were to look for yourself, then you do the same thing. You would post your job up online. You would filter it through in, the different questions that you might ask. And then when you're interviewing, look through them, not just whatever they're saying. It's like, how are they saying it? And maybe use some case scenario questionnaires and get them to answer. It's just how are they, what are the things that they're saying, and what are your values? If our values at OA is about love, we always look for where they're showing love. Are they showing that they're just here because I really need a job, I'm desperate for money, but I can do all this for you, and it sounds all good, whatever they're promising, but how are they delivering it might show that they're a bit, they're in it for the money, or whatever else. So I think outsourcing, it might sound foreign, but it's actually the same as if you're recruiting locally, is how I would recommend. So do take that time to hire properly, to really check in whether you will suit them as someone that you work with in the long term, because skills can always be taught. It's the personality, it's the attitude that can't be taught. And so we make sure that we screen them multiple times before we pass it to the client, so the client can just kind of go, oh yeah, I really like her, she's, seems good. At the end of the day, they're still people. So this is where we take that risk for clients, where if it doesn't work out, we'll find you a replacement. Like if you hire anyone locally, right? They could sound all good in the interview, and they might, sound like everything's perfect, but it's when you're working with them that things could change. And sometimes things could change even 2 years later, right? Everyone's got their own personal life, and things could change in that circumstance. But that's why we're here to support the client. Like, all right, you need another VA because this person, maybe going through some changes and aren't performing right as good as they were. Well, let us help you with that, and so that you don't have any downtime in your production.
I think that's the biggest difference between what you do and if I was to just go onto things like Fiverr, just looking for someone there, or going onto Upwork or something like that. Yeah. Getting like a really cheap VA from anywhere. What would you say are some of your best success stories that you had by bringing like a client and a VA together? Do you remember like 1 or 2 of the most best success stories ever?
Well, you are a success story. Like the love that you have for your VA just warms our heart, and even the fact that you really support our mission, and you're always sponsoring and donating to our charity. Like, you are the best. Like, I'm feeling even emotional thinking about it. But the other, it's just so sweet. Because what I love about you is you see beyond just trying to get, you know, a cheaper labor cost from us, or, you know, it's just, you really see an impact that you're making to the world. So I'm really grateful for you. The other client that we had, who's still with us till this day, is so when he was recruiting this VA, he really treated her as if he's recruiting someone long-term. So he even got us to do like personality tests, and, you know, brought his laptop around to the whole company and really introduced this VA to the company. And we really loved that about him, because he treated this outsourcing worker as an employee. And over time, he's even invited and brought his VAs over to Australia to spend time for Christmas. And then I also took advantage of that opportunity to bring that VA over to Sydney. So she'll go to Melbourne, we'll bring her to Sydney, spend time with my family. And so it's kind of like this almost three-way relationship we have, where, you know, ourselves and the client are like families, including this VA. And when we bring the VA over, we're kind of like, I guess, just like, you know, treating them as family, bringing them to different places and enjoying different things. But even along the way, one of his VA went on maternity leave. And this is where he needs our help. Okay, what do? I have someone that needs to go on maternity leave. You know, how do I deal with this? And so we try to come up with a plan of, you know, someone temporary working for him while we transition, you know, the old VA with the new VA. And just, it's when moments like that. See, hiring people online is very easy. You kind of post it up, yep, they can do the job, but it's that long-term relationship. It's the when things go wrong or different, that you have someone there to save you all the headache.
Yeah, absolutely. I always wanted to actually go to the Philippines. I think I've been with it's the third year, I think, or year, maybe starting the fourth one. And now COVID, so now no one can travel, but hopefully I'll be able to go over and just see how everything is, because sometimes we don't realize, you know, you're talking to someone online and you're just giving them tasks, but there's an actual person, and I just want to have everything a bit more personal.
Yeah, we're definitely looking into bringing our clients over to visit the Philippines, because only when you go there do you really like understand and immerse with everything. So yeah,
absolutely. I actually want to talk about the other side of the happiness of having a VA. What have you seen that has gone wrong, and why do you think that was?
So, you know, culturally, it's very different too. You know, if you're hiring someone from the Philippines, you might not understand and think that you expect them to be like Australian. But with the VAs in the Philippines, it's not just the VA, it's their culture. Maybe they're not as proactive. Maybe they would rather, whatever you tell them, they'll listen. And it's just being able to understand that culture, and you yourself would know how to deal with that. So it's better communication. It's, you know, letting them know your expectation and how you work, because sometimes it's not that the VAs don't work, because sometimes people try outsourcing, they're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. It's kind of like, you have to understand how to communicate with your VA. And even apart from culture, it's also how do you delegate online, because, you know, it's different to delegating someone next to you when you can show them exactly what it is. But sometimes clients could go, oh, I just want to I wrote this email and told them what to do, but they got it all wrong. But when you look at the email, it's an essay long, and, you know, you have to use things like screencast, like a Loom video, to make it easy. So things like that could go wrong. And yeah, I guess having that protection with us, because there are cases where, you know, VAs this is the horror stories, where they might have things going wrong in their family, like maybe there's a flood or typhoon or something, and of course they need money, and sometimes you don't know which one is the truth, like whether that is the truth or it might be a little trick, you know, from people over there. And so luckily we have a team of Filipino VAs who can really audit the situation and check it out, because recently when we saw that there was a big flood that happened in the Philippines, and there were some cases online that we knew of that were fraud. So basically VAs would actually tell their client that their area got flooded and it was all, you know, disaster, but it actually wasn't. And so we've seen cases like that where we know that when you're out on your own, this is the kind of things that could happen, where you just don't know what's happening in over there. I had another friend who contacted me and said, you know, I've got this VA that's been with me for a while and I really care about her now, but the only challenge that she keeps asking for some money, you know, to help with her family, this and that, becomes almost reliant on this extra thing. When do I stop? Because I feel bad not giving it. And so I was able to say, well, look, it comes down to you putting some boundaries and going, well, you know, work is work. You still got to work, and you can't just keep, giving money away. Because this is kind of that very, a kind of a gray area where you don't know how to deal with certain things. And luckily, even for us, we have the Filipino people who are the supervisors and the leaders who really understand their culture, what's going on in the country, and guide us. So as we're guiding our clients, we can guide them really well on our side, and we have the team that are Filipino kind of guiding on the VA side. And at the end of the day, it takes two to make it work, on the VA and the client side.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest questions I always get asked by our students, specifically now for beauty salons, is how long does it actually take to train a VA, and how do you train them?
Yeah. So we always have a number which is 3 months that we always tell people. Just like when you're onboarding any new staff member, I think if you spend more time training them properly, you just have less time of, things going wrong. And so having that proper, even the first few weeks where they're really immersing in your company, like what do you do, why do you do things, and your vision and your goals, and meeting everyone and reading your process. If you spend more time doing that, then the VA will be more, I guess they understand the big picture more. But if you go hire them and straight away go do this task and that, and then I guess they can do it, but they just don't have the full context to be able to add value to you, because then they're busy just doing the task and not the outcome that you need. And then being able to check in and train them. So I would say that a good solid 3 months would be, a good time, but you should be able to tell whether they're progressing. At the end of the day, it's about progress. You're hiring someone new. If they're learning and picking up things, they're not making the same mistakes again and again. And if you're also following rules for yourself, like for example, giving them good instructions, asking them feedback, and checking in with them. Those are the things that could really impact how they transition into your company. But the best part about working with us is that we kind of help to facilitate that too. We're like checking in with you two, checking with the VA, we give you the onboarding guide, but of course we still want to, check in to see if, both of you guys are communicating that way. Because sometimes business gets so busy, you're busy with your business so much that you want to do the right thing, but you don't have to have the time. So at least you have someone there to kind of, I guess we're your outsourcing coach to, poke you and go, hey, how's it going with your VA? And try to identify problems before they actually go wrong.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing about my experience, because it is a question that always comes up. It did take me about 3 to 4 months to train my full-time VA, but now I always say she's like a mini me without showing her face to everyone all the time. It's like a personal assistant, but online. And I really trust her with a lot of things. We also do give her access to the PayPal accounts now, so she can refund if there's any refunds, or set up like payment plans. So it has really taken a lot of the everyday techie stuff that I hate doing out of my entire business, which has been really, really helpful. I'm very right brain, which means I'm very creative. I always come up with new ideas, and you are probably the same. Shiny object syndrome, wanting to do too many things at the same time. And what really helped me is to find a VA that was the exact opposite, someone that could fill in the blanks of being more systemized and really delegate her own tasks to herself, and building those systems on her end to know when I send her 10 million voice messages in the one day, because that's how we work. I have an idea, I go blah, 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 blah on Facebook Messenger, and she goes, okay. And then she's the one putting it into systems, so nothing gets kind of lost. So I think that's just another tip, to find someone who is, if you're lacking the systems because you're all over the place, find someone that is very good with systems, someone that is calm, someone that, even sometimes I have a hot head and I go, no, it shouldn't be done like that. Okay, Miss Julia. Just bringing me back down to earth when something has gone wrong.
And the beauty with the Filipino VAs is most of them do have that personality of kind of really calm and, follow instructions well, and very nice, very sweet, right, sir, ma'am, and everything else. But why you achieved that result is because you did invest in that time with her. Like now she can just even, read your mind or know what's going on with, and whatever you give her, that she will pick up straight away. Now, sometimes clients kind of expect that when they first hire, hey, I want someone like Julie Mann's VA immediately. But hang on, because I've hired local people as well. Now they also take time. To be honest, sometimes it even take a year for you to actually see the result, because people are still trying to understand where they fit, how do they actually add value. But once they do, it's almost like hallelujah. It's like you kind of peak, you go to the other side where you reap all the rewards.
Yeah, and sometimes you try and push the boundaries. You're giving them so and so many tasks, social media posting, answering to emails, doing some payment stuff. And I have tried then to add different things. And then you also realize of what your VA is really good at and what is maybe not their zone of genius. And then you have to pull back again. Like, you can try and offload more, but if it doesn't work, just take it back and maybe find someone else who can in that area.
Exactly. And sometimes another myth is they think an outsourcing VA is like a superwoman or something. All right, I want to outsource all of this, and can you find me this person? Well, this person is like anyone that you would hire here. Like you said, it's like there are certain strengths and weaknesses, and there's also limited time that they can do as well. So it's always about optimizing your task list, getting them to do, but also optimizing them, and then eventually even getting an assistant for your VA, so that you can continue to go up in your level and they go up as well, but you always have someone that you can trust and rely on.
Yeah, I love that. I want to talk just very quickly about the types of VAs that you guys are actually helping other clients with that you have. So you have like two different, I guess, categories.
Yeah. So so the umbrella is kind of admin and marketing, but we do kind of have like 3 different types of, I guess, levels of advancement. So the first level is like the executive assistant. So you're talking about someone that can help with your back end, maybe liaising with customers, admin assistant, entering data in CRM. It's the things that I guess more low, you can learn fast. You don't need that much of a technical skill. But then when it comes to the advanced, so the people that you're like, I want them to already experience with LinkedIn marketing or Instagram, and they, have user experience in maybe even using Canva, and just, it's not something they just learn today, right? They don't just pick it up straight away. So it's called the advanced marketing. And then the third option, which is more technical specialist skills. So these are like, people with more techie web development skill set, or, Photoshop development, Photoshop design, or advanced video editing skills. So just the more advanced they are, but overall it is still in the marketing kind of arena.
Yeah, and this is something that I tried to actually train my VA as well. So she started with basic, I think she started like in the first level, basic admin things. And then I trained her myself because I didn't have money then to have 2 VAs straight away.
Yep.
I trained her then to go into more the second level. And she's even done some little bits and pieces of third level as well. So it doesn't mean if you need a video editor in maybe 6 months time because your business is starting to grow, you can, even if you have all that knowledge yourself, because I have a lot of knowledge of techie stuff apart from the HTML coding. I still have someone else to help me with that, but you can train your VA as well if you have that time. But if you need someone like right away, of course, I recommend you get in contact with Lynn and Outsourcing Angel, because they already have VAs like that. And what I really loved about it, and I hear this question all the time, what is the difference about going through an agency? Isn't that more expensive? Wouldn't you just go to like Upwork and find a $5 VA? Well, you already have everyone pre-screened, and you have all of that connection as well if things go wrong, and you can help and fix it. And you have trusted VAs already. And for me, like, I was really scared to hand off my business to just someone that I've spoken to 2 or 3 times. Well, I know that I trust you, and you have the connections, and you make things right if they go wrong.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, all those horror stories before. Hopefully it didn't scare everybody, but that's the reality of life, right? You're dealing with people out there. But the other thing is that we also create the community for the VA. So imagine these VAs are really just mums and dads working from home. And if they just have that one particular client too, they will be kind of lonely, just, in their own little laptop. But we created an online community where they've got the other work colleagues that they can talk to, and we try to do some fun activities. Every time that they do well for the clients, they get points, they can convert it into prizes. And so we want to make sure that not just the client's happy, because if the VAs aren't happy, then the VAs aren't going to perform well for the client. And I know with small business owners, we're so busy that almost, we have the best intention to care for our VAs, but maybe we just don't have time to give all that fun activity things. And so we just try to do that as well. And then we provide healthcare. We do everything that we can to keep them together with us, because it's beneficial for the client. We don't want clients training up their VAs and then the VAs, not having that motivation to work. And so it's as important to keep both parties happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. Is there something that you would want to ask if you were in my position and you were interviewing yourself?
Yeah. So the other thing I want to share is we're actually getting into the training space. So we're launching an Instagram course. So it's a full comprehensive course. Now, as a client, you actually get that for free. So as we start to create these courses, we just want it to be available for our clients, because we want them to, if you have the best VA, but if you have the right, strategy and the system to do certain tasks, then it will just be, I guess, more magic. So as a client of OA, not only will you have a VA, you'll have any of the systems and courses that we're launching out. But of course, those are the courses that actually, we charge at a retail rate for people that wanting to learn. But yeah, so I guess the benefit that you get when you work with us is more than just the VA. It's the training and, access to myself and our ops manager and our marketing manager who, have worked many years in the corporate world and bringing their expertise into our business. And so we want people to see that, no, you're not just hiring a VA from us. You're kind of hiring a team who cares about your success.
What are the courses?
So we launched an Instagram one now, and the next one that is about to launch is a VA growth system. So what it is a more comprehensive step-by-step guide on how to hire your VA, how to manage your VA. So yes, even if you are our client, you don't need the hiring part, but there's still a lot of it in there that might still help you in terms of like the everyday management of the VA. Because sometimes the client might be quick to getting a VA and ready to go, but they haven't actually shifted their mindset around outsourcing. And then they might get kind of, they hit a hurdle and they think that, I can't deal with this. But one of the lessons we taught in there is Rory Baden's 30 times rule. So the rule is this: if something takes you about 5 minutes, it will take you 30 times that to train someone new, which is 150 minutes. Now, most people will go, well, it's only going to take me 5 minutes, so I might as well do that. Why should I waste 150 minutes? However, if you had 5 minutes times, let's say, every single day in the year that you have to do this 5-minute task, that actually equals to thousands of minutes, right? And so it's being able to understand that the investment you do now is actually a bigger return on time investment that you're going to get. So this course will go more depth so that when clients come on board, they're not only getting, working with a VA that can help them immediately, but also train themselves and the mindset around, staffing and resources and delegation so that they could, hold on to their team. Because like we said earlier, the power is in the retention of these staff members, right? This is when you're going to get all the benefits. It's not at the beginning, it's the later when you can count on them to do anything for you.
Yeah, you want to be at that stage where you go, please never leave me.
Yes.
I'm lost without you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lynn, for being here on the Lash Tribe Show. I'm super excited that I started working with your agency years ago, and it's been such a blessing. And I'll continue to grow and hopefully get more and more VAs.
Thank you so much, Julia. Yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, you're the biggest support of our business as well as the charity. If anyone gets a chance to work with you, they're very lucky because you're the most generous soul and just full of heart. And so I'm blessed to be in your life as well.
Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.